Hey guys, it's Audra and welcome back to 365 Projects. I'm here today with my TBR for the Rereadathon that is taking place between March 10th and the 16th. Sorry, I had to look at my list. I heard about this from Becca and the Books, and there is a whole bunch of hosts, whether it's YouTube host, Instagram host, blog, maybe a Twitter. So I will leave a link to all of that stuff down below that you can check out, and we'll just get into my list for the challenges. Now, if you saw my March TBR, you will notice that I'm doing all middle grade, and I'm excited to get back into that. Now, if you're thinking that middle grade's not for you, I just beg you to keep watching. Like, if you need a starting point of really good middle grade books for your TBR, this would be the one to watch because these are books that I'm willing to reread, and I am not a rereader. So let's just get into the books that I plan on reading for this readathon, and I'm super excited to visit some of my favorite books from my entire life, including my childhood favorites. So the first challenge of this readathon is a second chance book, and I'm kind of pushing it with this one, but it will be Front Desk by Kelly Yang. Before I tell you what this is about, I'm counting this second chance book because I started listening to it very briefly on audio, but right away I heard a lot of things that I wanted to annotate and tab, and so I stopped. And now I'm going to restart because it's been a hot minute. So Front Desk is about a little girl. I think her name is Mia. Yeah, Mia Tang. And she lives in a hotel with her parents. And they are essentially hiding immigrants in the hotel, and I've heard nothing but fabulous things, and I cannot wait to get back into this one. The chapters are super, super duper short, so you're going to feel like you're going fast, like 60 chapters, not too long, towards the end. So I may even start with that one. I'm super pumped. Then the second challenge is to read a recent fave. I have gushed so many times about Echo by Pam Munoz-Ryan, but I'm going to reread it again. This will be my third reread of it, which means huge deal. You have to read it. The first time I read it physically and fell in love with it, like the ending gave me goosebumps and I wanted to start it right away. The second time I read it via audiobook, and it is so, so good because it's all about this harmonica during World War II that ends up in 3 places throughout the world, and how everybody is connected, and it plays the harmonica throughout the book. So I'm definitely going to reread it using both tools, I guess. The audiobook, but also following along. I am so excited for my third reread, and I've never reread a book like this before, so for sure, check this one out. It's my recent fave because I think it's like new within the last 4 years. I don't know. But that's definitely my recent fave. An old fave is number 3, and for that I'm going with a book that I used as a 6th grade teacher about 4 or 5 years ago, called The Lions of Little Rock. First did this as a read aloud, the next year we did it as a whole kind of unit, because this is a great introduction to 12-year-olds about everything that happened in the 60s regarding race relations, segregation. You have a little girl who is going to school, passing as white, which was common back then, and they figured things out, the repercussions of that. You had the KKK involved, you had Emmett Till talked about, you have Martin Luther King Jr. talked about, and so this is a historical fiction novel that was a great introduction. My kids absolutely loved it. Again, I've loved it. I've read it to them twice. I'm rereading it by myself this time, and I am so very excited to read this one again. Another one I can't recommend enough. The fourth challenge is a game-changing book. For that one, I'm going with Prisoner B 3087 by Alan Gratz. Oh my gosh, this book is amazing. Like, I have had kids that especially the boys, that say that they cannot find any book they like by 6th grade. They are done trying, and this book flips a switch that you can't shut off. This is a true story of a boy that survived 10 different concentration camps, and it is so addictive and fast-paced, and you just have to know. It gives me chills talking about, because like I said, it's based on a true story, and Scholastic put this book out with Alan Gratz, and they had this whole interview about with the gentleman that this book is about, he is starting to lose his memory in his old age. I believe he's like been diagnosed with dementia, and so he's starting to figure out that he's losing these things, and he's like purposely went to Scholastic and asked if he could tell somebody his story before he completely forgot it. And there's a whole interview about it. I love this book so much. It's been a game changer for connecting kids to the right book that gets them really, really involved with their reading life again at an older age, and so very good. Okay, moving on, because I'm totally gushing about that one. An unpopular book. Now, what I did was I went to my have read list on Goodreads and then clicked ratings, like ascending, I don't know, like lowest rating first, and then I found the first middle grade book. And for that, I found the book Defiance by Valerie Hobbs. I am shocked that this has such a low score. I loved it. However, this was before I was diagnosed with breast cancer, so this will be interesting. Maybe a little triggering to reread, but it had the lowest score overall at a 3.81, which I don't feel is that low. But this is about a young boy who has beat cancer once, and he realizes and knows for sure that it is back. And he does not tell his parents because he doesn't want to go back to the hospital and go through all the treatments and miss out on so much again and again. And so he kind of essentially runs away a little bit. He has this relationship with an elderly woman and a friendship with a cow, and it's just super cute. There's not a unhappy ending by any means. It's a very, very happy ending. It's an extremely short book. I recommend it to a lot of kids, but it's a little unpopular, I guess, on Goodreads. So we'll see what that's about when I try to reread it. So on the flip side of that would be the most popular book, and that one would be The Survivors Club, the true story of a very young prisoner of Auschwitz. I'm shocked that this was the highest on my list at 4.56, but, I mean, it's a good book. I guess it'll go really great with Prisoner B3087, but it's just a story of a biography that came out here recently, so I'll reread that again. I wasn't planning on rereading it anytime soon, but that's what popped up on Goodreads as my most popular book. And so backtracking to the challenge before that would be my childhood favorite, and for that is Time for Andrew by Mary Downing Hahn. I can remember reading this in 4th grade and being so totally enthralled in a ghost story with historical fiction elements. You have a boy that looks a lot like his great-grandfather did in the past. They switch places in time, and they have to figure out how to switch back, essentially. I'm going to have my parents mail me my copy from when I was a kid because I get to meet Mary Downing Hahn at the end of the month for the first time. And I'm so, so excited to have her sign my book with my 4th grade handwriting and my little kitty cat sticker that said this book belongs to, and it's falling apart. But I'm going to reread it for this month. So there you have it. Obviously, I need to get some of these books in physical form, but these are the 3 I have ready to go for the readathon that's coming up very, very quickly. So you still have time to get your readathon, your rereadathon list together if you would like to join in the fun. I don't reread enough. It's something I tell my students that I really need to do better as a reader and can model better for them. So I'm excited to give that experiment a try for an entire week with all of these books. So let me know what you are rereading this month and what you would like to try that's a middle grade book, because they don't get enough love and they need it. So anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Bye guys.